This episode of Gripping Golf is brought to you by Sycamore Ridge and Senior View.
We're about to shoot a shot.
All right, welcome to Gripping Golf Podcast. I am joined here by Dave Miller and myself, Billy Daniels. Just a quick shout out to Nelson Hill. They make the finest leather products in the Kansas City area very soft, buttery soft. And if you looking for a nice leather product for your golf accessories, you can use a promo code called Gripping Golf at their website, which is nelsonhill.co. Go ahead and head over there to nelsonhill.co, not .com. And use the promo code GrippingGolf, all one word, all caps lock. We're out here at Sycamore Ridge. We've got a special guest with us today, Scott Moore out of Garmin, who is a product manager for their outdoor products and specifically golf products. And Scott, how you doing today?
Doing good.
Great. Scott, before we get into the S62, we're going to review kind of talk about the S62 Approach Golf Watch. Am I saying it correctly? Is it the Approach S62 or the S62 Approach?
Approach S62.
Okay.
Yeah.
Approach S62. Gosh. Before we get into that, talk a little bit about your experience and how long you've been at Garmin, your tenure there.
Sure, yeah. I've been at Garmin for, I think it's like 22 years now. It's
Oh, wow.
been a while. I started out as a software engineer there and have worked on all kinds of products from portable aviation, outdoor handhelds for hiking, automotive products, cell phone products, like everything. But really the last 6 or 7 years I've been focused on golf products, so it's been a blast.
All right, Dave, thanks, Scott, for sharing that with us. But Dave, I'm going to hand it over to you, Mr. Diligent over here with your questions, and I'll just chime in from time to time, but appreciate Scott being here today.
Absolutely. So let's just jump right in. So the S62 is a golf watch, for lack of a more descriptive term. Tell us some of the features on this.
Wow, this is there's so many features on this product. It's hard to narrow it down just to a handful. I mean, obviously, it's going to give you your distances to the green. That's the most important thing of any rangefinder. It's going to give you a distance to the front, middle, back. This product also has full mapping, so it's going to show you the entire hole. It's going to show you where the bunkers are, where the water hazards are, everything. And you can select those and get more information, like the distance to the front or back of those. You can point to any spot on the green or on the fairway, and get the layup distance. So giving a lot of information there, but it also does a lot more than that. One of the cool features that I like is it's called auto shot, and so it detects every time you take a shot and records that location. So a couple cool things that we do with that. First of all, when you're out there on the course, we show you the distance to that last shot. So it's just always on your watch. You don't have to touch anything. You just look down and see how far away you were. Mm-hmm. It's great when you want to see how far you hit, but I use it to help me find my golf ball.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what I do.
That's how I use it as well.
I think everybody is figuring that out.
How far my driver goes.
Yeah, this
should be right here.
This is where it probably went in the trees. Yeah.
Exactly right.
I'm glad to learn. If that's the only thing I learned today about this golf watch, I'm so glad I'm not alone on that.
Yes. So that's a really cool feature when you're playing. Then we take all that data and upload it with your scorecard, and after the round, you can see all your shots again, which is another cool feature that we do.
Mm-hmm. I love. You talked specifically about the layup feature. I use that a lot, where I'm tapping into it and cycling through the hazards, and then it starts to give you the layup distances for if you want to be 100 yards from the green or 150 yards from the green. I love that, knowing that I can be like, okay, that's how far I have to hit my next shot, specifically on a par 5. If I know I want to be 100 yards from the green, I'll tap my watch a couple times, get to that distance, and then hit my shot. I know I have to hit a 170-yard shot or 175 or 180-yard shot. It's fantastic.
And it's quick. You're not wasting a lot of time playing with the watch. That's one of our goals with all of our golf products is we want you to play golf. We don't want you to be out there playing with our technology. So we try to give all that information as upfront and in your face as we can. And if it is a couple button presses, and it's as quick as possible. So we have all those hazards as a list. You can just scroll right through them really quickly and see, and not just the hazards, but the layups that you were
Right,
talking about,
right.
the 100, 150, 200, whatever you're looking for, and get it right away.
I love it. Yeah. It is simple to use.
Yeah, and even taking that a step further, you selected your layup distance, and then one of the features that we also are pretty impressed with, the virtual Caddy will help you decide which club to hit to get to that distance, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How does that work? How did that come about?
Virtual caddies. I think I was probably reading a book, that Mark Brody book on strokes gained analysis, and he was talking about how, you can figure out what the average number of strokes it's going to take to get from a certain location to the green and in the hole based on all this data that he had collected. And I'm thinking, well, we've got a lot of data that we're collecting with our products. Our customers are getting all this shot data, and so I was like, we could probably do something like this on a watch, and so I think that's kind of where it started. We've done in the past club suggestion stuff, and this is by no means that.
Mm-hmm.
Club suggestion just looks at like how far you typically hit each of your clubs, and then looks at how far out you are, and then gives you what club you should use. We're doing way more than that, though. We look at your shot dispersion areas for each of your clubs and figure out the sequence of clubs it's going to take you to get to the green, and giving you basically a penalty, like what's the average number of strokes it's going to take for each of these sequences.
Mm-hmm.
And it's looking at that shot dispersion area with all the cartography data we have, so we know how many bunkers are going to be in the way, how thin is the fairway up there.
Right.
So so it's looking at all that and then calculating what's the best combination of clubs to use from this location that you're standing at right now, and then give you a club suggestion based on that.
That's
wow. So
fascinating.
what I just learned is when it's never recommending driver for me, that I need to work on my accuracy with my driver.
I think it is one of the challenges though with it, is because sometimes it might suggest things that you go, why is it doing that?
Right.
And you got to think more. And what's cool about it is it makes you think about it, because it's like, it's not just this shot that you've got to worry about.
Right.
It's the next shot going, or the second shot after that. So.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking at all that information. It's using data that it's got, not just the shot dispersion areas, but it looks at how well you hit out of bunkers. Mm-hmm. So if you're hitting into an area with a lot of bunkers, it might tell you to lay up to avoid those altogether.
Wow.
You look at like number 15 out here that has the par 5 with all the bunkers across the way. Like it's always telling me to lay up on that one, just because I'm not very good at hitting out of bunkers. And so let's just get that out of the way. Let's lay up and then take your next shot over them, and they won't even be in play basically. So it's looking at that, and it's not even just the next shot. Like I said, it's the shot going into the green that it looks at. And so it's not always going to be what you think it is. But I think that's where it's very helpful, because it's like, oh, okay, I was going to hit a driver off this tee. And that's what everybody wants to do, right? It's a par 5. I need to hit a driver off here. Why would I hit a 3 hybrid or something, Yeah. But it makes you think, like, oh, okay, that there is a hazard in the way here, or there is the fairway really narrows up down there, and I spray my driver everywhere, so maybe this is not a good place to use it. I think the natural instinct that everybody has is they get to the tee box, par 4, par 5, pull out the driver.
Is it doing that? Sorry, you just made me think of it. Is it doing that just by your clubs, or is it storing any sort of historical data to how you play the course that you're playing currently?
It's not just it's just all shots that you've taken.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for Dave, it wouldn't know that he hits it left in the trees every time he gets up there.
It
on
might.
5.
It might.
Okay.
Yeah.
That only happened one time. It's mostly on 3 that I hit it.
Oh, 3. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Confusing my holes out here.
See, I thought it was just taking the averages of your clubs. I didn't realize it was that detailed, but it makes sense now with all that data that's in the Garmin Golf app that you can look at with your green percentages and stuff like that, that it is calculating all that. Mm-hmm. And now
It's pretty
my brain's
accurate.
about to blow.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Like I'm making the joke that it's never recommending driver. It's recommending driver all the time for me. But it does also, sometimes I get up there and it'll say 3-wood. Sometimes it'll say 3 iron. I'm not sure I follow it every time accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
It's not it definitely wouldn't follow it blindly. I mean, it doesn't know like what the lie type is. You didn't know that you're on the side of a hill or your ball's buried in a hole or anything like that. So you've got to make some common sense. You still have to make decisions. It's not going to do everything for you. But like I said, I think it makes you think a little bit more about the whole strategy of the hole, not just, okay, I'm over, 400 yards out, I got to get my driver, I think that's where a lot of people could gain strokes, is just by strategizing better. They don't even have to improve their swing or anything. It's just figuring out what the right strategy is to play that hole. And that's where this virtual caddy feature helps.
Yeah, and I think to that point specifically, I think for me, when you're out in the fairway and you pull your club and you look down and it's there telling you the same club, it kind of validates and gives you a little confidence boost. So, okay, I'm right. Yeah.
Yeah, and the differences we're talking about are fractional. Like, because we're looking at like the average strokes it would take you to get into the hole using this combination of clubs or this combination of clubs, and it might be just a tenth of a stroke difference, right? So it's kind of up to you what you feel comfortable hitting, right? If you feel better hitting this club here, then you should go with that. And even though it says you should use another one.
Right. You still got to play the game.
And you might not see the benefit of going the route that the virtual caddy tells you on that particular round. Like I said, you might really only improve 1 out of 10 times, right? So, and we do show that. I don't know if you've seen this, but if you click on that club suggestion on the watch, it'll bring up a list and it'll show you the other suggestions, and it'll give you the average strokes that we calculated that each of those would take.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it gives you kind of that fraction. It shows you how little.
Humbling.
I mean, we're not talking about, you're going to save 2 strokes on this hole by going this route. You might save a tenth or a half a stroke maybe even. So
that's my brain is melting right now.
Are you rebooting again?
Yeah, it's a good thing these headphones are on, because my brain is coming out of my ears. I didn't realize that it was that complex. Like, you show up and it shows up on your watch and you're like, oh, that's cool, and let me give it a shot. But man, there's some detail into that. Well, I mean, you kind of answered this one, and we're going to start jumping all over the place now, but do you think that virtual caddy is probably the feature that would help an average golfer most improve their game?
Sure. I think it would definitely help, like I said, with the strategy part of it. I mean, all of our golf watches help an average golfer. Like, just knowing their distances is really important, because club selection is so important. And so virtual caddy just takes it to that next level.
And I think on top of that, just the data collection that happens of getting paired with the Garmin Golf app, of being able to go back in and look at how many fairways you hit. It can hone somebody in to say, oh my gosh, I never hit a single fairway today. Maybe I should go work on some driving, some accuracy. So, or if you haven't hit a lot of greens, I mean, it's great for me when I look at the end of a round and maybe I shot around average of what I normally shoot, or maybe I shot slightly higher. I can look at that and go, well, here's why. I hit fewer greens than I normally hit. And so I'm getting up and down, or I'm not getting up and down.
Yeah, sometimes looking at the historical data that it tracks on there for each hole is a little depressing for me on a few holes. But it can be very helpful for sure.
Yeah.
So, what about a more experienced player like Billy here? What feature do you think would be best for him to help improve his game on this?
Let's clarify there. Aren't we the same handicap?
Yes. But you've been golfing longer. So you're more experienced.
I don't know. Yeah.
I look more experienced physically.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Life experience.
Life experience, golf experience. Yeah. Yes. So that's the secret of staying young, is golf experience. Start young. You'll be young.
Exactly.
Nice.
Well, I mean, more experienced golfers can get the same value out of tracking their shots and knowing specifically, some of the information that we do show in the golf app. We're looking at. We are doing a strokes gained analysis. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, what that is,
right.
But it basically puts a value on every shot that you take, and it's a better way of analyzing approach shots, even because you could be 200 yards out and miss the green. That's still better than being 50 yards out and getting on the green, but being 45 feet away.
Right.
I mean, you should be able to do better than that. So it's not that 200-yard shot was bad necessarily. And so there's a way to weight everything, and we use that information to kind of give you an idea of what approach shots, what ranges of distances you're doing well at or not doing well at, or what clubs your approach shots are good at. Even going into looking at chip shots, data, what's your accuracy there. Pretty humbling sometimes how many shots you miss within 50 yards.
Right.
And then your drive accuracy as well. You can see how many, like you said, the fairways hits and misses.
For sure.
But it shows you a shot dispersion area there as well. It's not just telling you whether you hit or miss the fairway, because that obviously varies based on hole by hole. But
Right.
just in general, how far wide left or right are you missing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we talked about this when we met before. One of your guys' biggest hurdles with the S62 is getting people that have been using your products for a long time into it, right? I think Billy, your brother-in-law, Bobby, who we speak about often, uses an S20. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and he's perfectly content with that.
Yep.
So how are you guys overcoming that hurdle of people thinking, my watch is fine? How are you getting them to go from the S20 to an S62?
It's difficult because, those S20 is a great product.
It is.
It does give you your distance to the front, middle, back, and does a really good job at it. And that's why we have to keep adding features like virtual caddy, or the big difference between an S20 and an S62 is also going to be all the mapping that you get.
Mm-hmm.
So, some people think they don't need that, and it's just getting them more aware of the other features that it does do, and then they use it and they find these features that they had no idea that it even existed. And things like plays like is a wonderful feature. Just shows you what it plays like based on the uphill downhill of that shot. So it's constantly making improvements in display technology that gets better. Power, we improve our battery life. Almost every generation gets better battery life, which is, that was one of the big improvements on S62 compared to its predecessor is its battery life. We doubled the battery life. And
Wow.
And now it's before you could barely get 2 rounds of golf in if you were quick, and now it's no problem. It's just it's night and day different.
Well, and I think an advantage to maybe jumping up from the S20 to the S62 is the S62 is very much a everyday watch. It doesn't have to be something that you're just specifically using for golf. Yep. And I think that was something I was looking for in a watch is something that I could wear it every day. It's going to give me, we haven't even talked about, it does all the activity tracking as well in terms of steps. And I use it for all my outdoor walks and indoor cycling and all that stuff. It pairs very nicely, and then it connects directly to my Garmin app.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah,
So,
I use mine for text messages and emails and all kinds of stuff.
It's a very practical, functional daily watch.
Yep, it's got a lot of the smartwatch features,
Yep.
and then all the activity features. It's got wrist heart rate in it, so you can use it for runs. You can use it for cycling. Any activity that you would see in our other fitness watches is available here. We've got wireless payment, so you can set up your credit card and you can go to pay for things just using your watch. So yeah, that is another.
My wife loves that feature. That's something, Dave, you should get or have or
I
use
use
more.
it.
Oh, you do?
And
okay.
I was using
you use it when you buy things.
Yeah, I
like
had a
golf things.
Well, if I'm at a store, if I'm at a brick and mortar, yeah.
We have a segment, Scott. It's a Did Dave Buy Something each week? And that's what I was getting at. It's
Right.
alluding to, do you use your Garmin watch to buy things? So.
Not online.
Oh,
but
okay.
yes.
All right.
And is it 14 days on the battery if you don't golf, or is it? I can't remember.
It's pretty lengthy.
It's a long time.
It's
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds about right.
Yeah, I would venture to guess that's what it is.
Because that was my frustration. I had a Samsung S3 Frontier, and I'd have to charge it every day and a half.
Yeah. Nope.
And this, I don't have to, which is stunning.
And you're playing golf with it too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's counting a lot of shots sometimes. So let's talk about real briefly then some of the different accessories you can use with it. So another one of your products is the CT10. How does that enhance the user experience of the S62?
Yeah, so CT10 sensors are these little sensors. You screw them into the grip of your club, and it kind of fits on there seamlessly. So like once it's there, it's so lightweight and kind of fits perfectly on your grip that you don't even know it's there. But what it's doing is it's keeping track of what club you hit with each of your shots. So we go back to talking about like that virtual caddy feature. In order for virtual caddy feature to work, we have to know what club you're hitting with each of those shots. And you can do that without CT10 sensors, but it's a manual process. After every shot, you have to look at your watch and say, oh, that was a driver. Or after your round, you have to go into the app and set what each club was. This makes that process all automated. You just put them on all your clubs and you just play golf and you don't even think about it. And then when you're done, you look at your scorecard on the app and it knows every club that you used. The other benefit is it's more accurate at detecting those shots. So it's particularly than the watches. So particularly those light chip shots or even putts, we can detect now with the CT10 sensor.
Okay. I didn't know that about the chips. That's fantastic because I do find myself counting additional strokes if I'm chipping because it doesn't always pick that up. And there's, if I understand right, there's like a accelerometer in the watch or something like that.
Yeah, there's a couple sensors that we use in the watch to detect the shot. The difference, but having the sensor on the club makes a huge difference in detecting that impact.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
I can't believe, like, literally, I'm holding this up to the camera. It's this big, and there's that much technology in something this
Pretty
small.
impressive.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of the features of the S62. What's your favorite?
I don't know. I just love the watch. It's the virtual caddy is definitely one I think I'm most proud of. As far as like, I feel like what we've accomplished is really unique, and it's not, like I said, it's not just a club suggestion. We're doing all this stuff in the background that probably we didn't have advertised well enough, right? It's like people don't know that it's doing all that. So, but I love that feature. But I don't know. I use everything on this thing. It's we even have a compass in here, and you can get a pinpointer feature. So if you do have a blind shot, you can get aim at where that green is without having to run up to the hill and then run back. It's so handy. Like if you've ever left it behind and didn't have it, which I have done once, because I was putting on the charger and then I forgot to bring it to the course. Like I almost didn't want to play golf that day. I got out there. I'm like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And
I'm going to have my stats.
Right. I don't have my shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to put it on the scorecard.
What in the world? Pencil?
Yeah.
What is this thing?
Yeah. It is amazing to your point of like when you don't have it, you kind of do this like weird, like, oh gosh, I'm going to have to write down the scores.
Right.
It actually made golf less fun not having it. It's just
right.
like, golf's already hard enough. So any little bit that you can help out with, I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's really like having somebody next to you to guide you through the whole round.
Hold your hand. Yeah.
Hold your wrist.
Hold your wrist. Yeah. It's going to be okay.
We'll need emotional support next.
Right.
Next feature.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
See, we're innovating here.
Yeah.
All right.
Just like the R10 can talk to you.
Right.
We'll have the watch will talk to you.
Maybe
Positivity.
It's going to sense when you swear, and it's going to say, it's okay.
Yeah. What is that, Judge Dredd? When yes, exactly.
It's going to charge you credits.
Yeah. Violation. Or it's just going to be like, you are a good golfer. Right. You can do it.
You can get up and down from there.
It's okay.
Yeah. So we talked previously in a different episode about the Z82. Do you have a preference between the S62 and the Z82 rangefinder, or do you use them both together?
Well, I have a benefit of access to all this cool toys, so I use them both together. I love the we talked about the laser ranging arc with the Z82, and so I'll use that all the time when I'm making my approach shots. But I love the stats that I get with the S62, so I can't play without that. It kind of depends on how I'm playing too. Like if I'm not playing very well, then I usually don't use the laser rangefinder. Right. I just look down here and don't want to mess with it. So. But yeah, I use them both.
Yeah, I'm the same way. They're a deadly combo of just great information to have as you're going around the golf course.
And one day I'll put that information to great use.
Yeah, exactly. That's the challenge. Yeah.
I got the information. Now it's up to me to hit the shots. So, all right. Well, give us your final sales pitch on the S62.
Wow, S62 is just this Swiss Army knife for golfers, for everyday wear stuff. I wear it all the time, and so it is the best golf watch we've ever made. I always say that every time we come out with a new golf watch, but you look back at the previous version and go, man, this thing's not nearly as good as what we have here. So definitely you got to upgrade. It bothers me when people are wearing these old products. I think it's great, but you just don't understand all the cool things that we've brought into this watch, and so you got to try it out.
Yeah. Definitely will. Well, Scott, I appreciate your time. We appreciate your time and coming down here at Sycamore Ridge and spending some time and talking about the Approach S62. And then we also did the Z82 laser rangefinder, and then the R10, which is a radar mechanism that you can use indoor or outdoor. And just appreciate what you're doing, and really couldn't think that Garmin is they're doing an outstanding job. And you guys, it's really commendable of what you're doing, and you know, where you've come in the last 5-6 years of just being someone that was kind of in the not you personally, but Garmin was in the golf industry, but you've just, seems like you're leading it right now of just innovation. So applaud you for all the work that you all are doing there. Your team is doing there. So couldn't thank you enough for coming down here. Dave, you got anything else to say?
Big cheers to your software designers, because this stuff is incredible.
Yep.
It's really good.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's fun talking to you.
Yeah, good. Well, if you're a fan of the podcast, go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave us a review. It really helps us out. And also check out the episodes on YouTube if you want to stare at our ugly mugs. It's always great to see you there.
Swatting at flies.
Yeah, see us. Yeah, there was a fly between all these episodes. It was really great. So thanks to all the listeners.